When we think of judges, most of us imagine stern faces, strict tones, and heavy decisions made inside cold courtrooms. But Judge Frank Caprio was different. His courtroom was not only a place of law, it was a place of kindness, compassion, and humanity. For millions of people who watched him over the years, Judge Caprio wasn't just a judge. He was a fatherly figure, a guiding voice, and a symbol of hope for anyone who had fallen on hard times. Judge Frank Caprio, who passed away at the age of 88 after battling pancreatic cancer, left behind a legacy that is truly unmatched. Today, we remember him by revisiting some of his most heartfelt moments from his courtroom show, Caught in Providence. These moments reveal why he became one of the most beloved judges in the world. One of the most unforgettable qualities about Judge Caprio was that he never looked at people as just cases. To him, every person who stood before his bench was a human being, with struggles, with feelings, and with a story worth hearing. There's a famous moment that fans still share today. A woman stood nervously in front of him, explaining her troubles. She had traffic tickets, but her heart was heavy with personal pain. Before even looking at her violations, Judge Caprio leaned forward, his voice gentle, and said, "I don't care what you came in for today. I was going to dismiss it. Can I give you a hug?" She walked forward, tears in her eyes, and the courtroom fell silent as the judge embraced her. It wasn't just about dismissing a fine, it was about giving comfort when it was most needed. And that's what Judge Caprio represented, a man who believed that kindness had a place. Even in a courtroom, Judge Caprio often credited his outlook on life to his father, an immigrant who taught him respect, compassion, and humility. Growing up, he learned that the law was not only about punishment, but also about fairness and understanding. He once said, "My father, an immigrant, taught me to be respectful and to be understanding and compassionate with people." That simple lesson guided every decision he made from the bench. And when people entered his courtroom, many of them scared, anxious, or ashamed, they were often surprised to find not just a judge, but someone willing to listen. One powerful example was the story of a young mother who came before Judge Caprio with 9 different traffic violations. On paper, it looked bad. But life is never just about paperwork. When she spoke, she revealed that she was trying to escape an abusive relationship. She often had to flee with her daughter, sometimes late at night, sometimes in dangerous situations. And that's how many of the violations had happened. Judge Caprio listened carefully, his face full of empathy, and instead of lecturing her, he said something few judges ever would. "So, you're going to owe $125, okay? Can I give you a hug? Come on up here." That moment was more than just about lowering a fine. It was about acknowledging her courage and struggles as a mother. It was about letting her know she was not alone. Judge Caprio also carried a deep respect for those who served the country. Being a member of the Army National Guard himself, he always had a special place in his heart for veterans. One memorable case involved a World War II veteran, a man who was 100 years old at the time. He had been cited for running a red light. Most judges might have treated it like any other case. But Judge Caprio looked at the man, a century of life etched on his face, and said with sincerity, "We want to honor you and thank you for your service, for your bravery, and for your contributions to this country." And this case is dismissed. The courtroom erupted in applause. Judge Caprio even added, "And if I couldn't dismiss it, we'd pay it. You were not going to pay for this." It was a simple act, but one that reflected his deep gratitude for those who had sacrificed so much. Not every story was lighthearted. Some were heartbreaking. One woman entered his courtroom after losing her son. To make matters worse, her financial struggles had left her in a desperate situation. She explained, with tears rolling down her face, that Social Security had cut her check because of debts her late son had owed. She had lost her son, her home, and was still struggling to pay for his funeral. Her voice cracked as she said, "I don't know where this money is supposed to come from." Judge Caprio leaned forward, visibly moved, and said softly, "The horrific story that you just told us relative to your son, I don't think anyone in their lifetime would ever want to experience that. It's the worst feeling in the world." Initially, he reduced her fine to $50, But when she said that paying, even that amount would leave her with just $5, Judge Caprio didn't hesitate. No, he said firmly but kindly, "I'm not going to leave you with $5. I'm going to dismiss everything." In that moment, he gave her something money couldn't buy: dignity, compassion, and a bit of peace in her darkest hour. Courtrooms can be intimidating. Many people walked into Judge Caprio's courtroom nervous and scared, but he always had a way of putting them at ease. One young person once confessed, "I'm nervous about everything. I've never been to court before." Judge Caprio leaned in, smiled, and said, "Am I making you nervous? I'm so sorry. I don't want to make you nervous." It was small, but it mattered. He understood that behind every case file was a person who deserved to be treated with kindness, and often, people walked out of his courtroom not just relieved about their fines, but grateful for his humanity. Over the years, his show, Caught in Providence, reached millions of viewers around the world. People from different countries, different cultures, and different backgrounds found inspiration in his words. His simple message was clear: you have to help somebody else. There are an awful lot of people out there who have similar problems, and you are going to be in a situation to help them. Don't forget them. That message of paying it forward resonated far beyond the walls of his courtroom. It inspired countless people to act with more kindness in their own lives. Judge Caprio's later years were not easy. He battled pancreatic cancer with the same quiet strength he showed in his courtroom. In one interview, when asked how he was fighting, he said, "I'm doing everything the doctors told me to do. I'm feeling stronger. I flew cross-country to be here today from Rhode Island to California. So, I think I'm taking the right steps, and things look good." Even while facing his own health struggles, he stayed positive, and he made it clear that his work in the courtroom gave him purpose. When asked how long he would keep going, he smiled and said, "I'm going to be there. No one's taking me out." On Wednesday, at the age of 88, Judge Frank Caprio passed away, but his spirit, his compassion, and his lessons will live forever. His courtroom moments continue to circulate online, reminding us of what true justice looks like. Justice with humanity. He showed the world that being a judge doesn't mean being harsh. It means being fair. It means listening. It means remembering that everyone who stands before you is a human being with a story. Judge Caprio's legacy is not measured by the number of fines he dismissed or the cases he oversaw. His legacy is measured by the countless lives he touched, the tears he wiped away, and the hope he gave to people who needed it most. And maybe that's why, even in death, people around the world feel connected to him. He wasn't just a judge from Providence. He was everyone's judge, the kind of judge we all wish we had. As we remember Judge Frank Caprio, we are reminded of one simple truth: kindness never goes unnoticed. A gentle word, a small act of compassion, or a hug offered at the right moment can change someone's entire day, maybe even their entire life. Judge Caprio understood this, and that's why his courtroom became a symbol of hope. He taught us that laws are necessary, but so is humanity. He showed us that you can be firm, yet still compassionate, and above all, he reminded us that when life gives us the chance to help someone, we should always take it. Rest in peace, Judge Frank Caprio. Your kindness will never be forgotten.